the heart of an accountant. Don't forget to subscribe. Our topic is all about principles of taxation. So, taxation is defined as a power by which an independent state, through its law-making body, raises and accumulates revenue from its inhabitants to pay the necessary expenses of the government. It's a process or act of imposing a charge by governmental authority on property, individuals, or transactions to raise money for public purposes. So it is also defined as the inherent power of the sovereign to exercise through the legislature to impose burdens upon the subject and object within its jurisdiction for the purpose of raising revenue and to carry out the legitimate objective of the government. So what is the purpose of taxation? So it's a revenue objective and non-revenue objective. For revenue objective, the basic purpose of taxation is to raise revenue in order to meet the legitimate objectives of the government. For non-revenue objective, so it's for regulatory purpose, which is imposed with the joint exercise of the power of the taxation and the police power. So they raise taxes and at the same time promote general welfare or protect the health, safety, or morals of the public. So it may be levied with regulatory purpose. Say for example, the sin taxes on alcohol and tobacco, which help prevent and discourage consumers from excessive intake of these potentially harmful products. It is have also compensatory objective. So the power of taxation may be exercised in order to maintain a high level of employment through infrastructure projects, farm support activities, as financial support for purchase of fertilizer and etc. It also used for control inflation that will eliminate excess liquidity. It also have an objective on achieving social justice through redistribution of income by progressive system of taxation, just to elevate the margin between the rich and the poor. So what are the bases of taxation? So the government provides benefits to the people in the form of public services. And the people provide the funds that finance the government. So thus necessity chori, because without money, the government cannot pay its expenses and therefore cannot exist. For compensation chori, so in return for the contribution of the taxpayer, he receives the general advantages and protection which the government affords the taxpayer and his property. And of course, ability to pay chori, on which taxpayer should be required to contribute based on their relative capacity to pay. Those who have more should be taxed more, even if they benefit less, and those who have less shall contribute less, even if they receive more of the benefits from the government. Nature of taxation. First, it is inherent in sovereignty. It is legislative in character. And the third, it is subject to limitations because it is inherent and constitutional. So the nature of taxation power has twofold. It is both inherent and legislative power. Inherent power, it is a power that naturally exists as essential force in order that a government can command, maintain peace and order and survive, irrespective of any constitutional provision. It is an attribute of sovereignty. The basis, the lifeblood chori. They are essential and indispensable to the continued subsistence of the government, because without taxes, the government would be paralyzed for lack of motive power. And of course, manifestations, because there is imposition even in the absence of constitutional grant, and the state's right to select objects and objects of taxation without injunction Legislative power, the authority under the Constitution to make or enact laws and to alter or repeal them. Taxation is vested in the legislative body of the government. So in the Philippines, the Congress has the power to make or enact law. This legislative is given the discretion to determine the purpose of tax, the subject or object to be taxed, the amount, and the manner and the means of collection, and the situs or place of taxation.